Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window, and not a bad early autumn day. In fact, we're getting closer to the middle of fall now here as we creep into the end part of October. What a gorgeous shot from our Sky-Fi Tower camera on Wenatchee Heights. It's our cross camera. Look at the beautiful blue sky and the relationship to the clouds in the sky today. Just a fantastic day, a lot less wind than we've seen the last few days, and all in all, really a nice day. But speaking of wind, yeah, it's going to be back, and we're going to see it in a big way on Friday. The wind will start coming up late in the morning tomorrow, and these are the kind of gusts that we expect by tomorrow late afternoon and into the evening hours. These wind speeds have been toned down just a little bit. You can see Wenatchee's at 45 mile an hour possibility. Now the Weather Service late today lowered that to about 40 mile an hour gusts. Not sure what the difference is really between a 40 and 45 mile an hour gust. It is going to be windy all over our viewing area tomorrow, and we will talk much more about that and some of the impacts from that wind. Broken tree branches, maybe some isolated power outages around our viewing area, and we could see some difficult travel, especially with semis and maybe some motorhomes and RVs out there as well. So just be very careful over the next 24 hours. Once again, we'll talk much more about this weather system coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A police raid in search of narcotics at a Mansfield home led to a brief lockdown Wednesday at the nearby Mansfield school. A new round of flyers promoting bigotry has surfaced in the neighborhood around Wenatchee Valley College. The mother of Rayana Rosenberg, the child rescued from an icy Rock Island pond last winter, is now wanted for her alleged part in a chaotic campsite robbery. And early morning customers at Les Schwab in East Wenatchee got a shock today when a car crashed into the front window of that store. But first, we begin tonight. An Omak man was arrested early Tuesday morning after an Okanagan County deputy reported finding a large quantity of illegal drugs in the car he was driving. Sheriff's Deputy Gisberth Gonzalez said he saw 42-year-old Christopher Graber speeding on Robinson Canyon Road north of Omak. As he was attempted to stop the vehicle, Graber reportedly tried to switch places with the passenger and drove the car into a ditch. Graber was wanted on several warrants and had small bills totaling more than $1,500 in cash on him. A Border Patrol canine unit was called in and alerted on the vehicle's trunk. After obtaining a search warrant, Gonzalez reported finding an illegal gun, 142 grams of methamphetamine, 7.7 grams of heroin, scales, and packaging material. Graber is being held in the Okanagan County Jail on numerous charges. Well, a police raid in search of narcotics at a Mansfield home led to a brief lockdown Wednesday at the nearby Mansfield school. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies and the Columbia River Drug Task Force searched the home in the 200 block of Douglas Street at about 8 a.m. The resident, Alberto Lopez Flores, showed police where he kept a .357 Magnum and about $6,000 in cash. The handgun turned out to be stolen, and Lopez can't possess firearms because of his prior felonies. Police haven't said whether any illegal drugs were found, but Lopez was taken to jail for that firearm offense. Well, a new round of flyers promoting bigotry has surfaced in the neighborhood around Wenatchee Valley College once again. Like another incident in September, these flyers were bagged and distributed in residential yards along 9th Street on October 15th, listing websites that reinforce a racist agenda. The college says it's aware of the propaganda campaign and it's monitoring the situation. Well, the mother of Rayana Rosenberg, the child rescued from an icy Rock Island pond last winter, is now wanted for her alleged part in a chaotic campsite robbery near Banks Lake. And now she's charged with endangering the safety of her own children. NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins has more on this story.
Douglas County Sheriff's deputies say Becca Ray Rosenberg, a 33-year-old Cooley City woman, had 4 children with her in a minivan that was used September 27th to rob a campsite near Banks Lake. One of those children was Ray Anna Rosenberg, the 6-year-old girl who fell through the ice on a Rock Island pond last February and survived after spending 20 minutes underwater. Police believe Becca Rosenberg, her partner Kai M. Shelton, and at least 3 other men and 1 woman used 2 vehicles to steal a pair of $1,100 portable generators. The campers returned while the theft was in progress, and in the scuffle, one of the alleged thieves was run over by an escaping getaway car. Deputies say the children were exposed to all of this, and now Shelton and Rosenberg are wanted on arrest warrants for charges including robbery, assault, and reckless endangerment of the children. Douglas County Undersheriff Tyler Kale says the kids are now in foster care.
Obviously, they've got connections, they've got children in common, so there is a high possibility they could be together. Then again, they may not either. It is unfortunate. The bright side at this point is at least we know the kids are safe. And, we're actively seeking to locate Mr. Shelton and Ms. Rosenberg. Now, I'm confident sooner than later, we are going to locate them.
Jefferson Robbins, NCWLIFE.
Early morning customers at Les Schwab in East Wenatchee got a shock today when a car crashed into the front window of the store. East Wenatchee police officer Leon Leidy tells NCWLIFE's Eric Granstrom what happened.
Well, when I arrived, this is what I see right parked here now. She apparently doesn't know what happened. Went through into the building, broke all the glass, a couple big panels, and busted a good pole. But when I talked to her about what happened, she didn't know what happened. She thought she was going to stop. Didn't hit the brake or the gas, is what she said.
Gotcha. And nobody inside the store hurt or anything like that?
Nobody hurt at all.
Thankfully, no one was hurt. Les Schwab store manager Kirk Mosier tells us they'll remain open while determining the total damage and making repairs. He said staff and customers inside the store were shocked by the crash and sound of breaking glass, but everyone's okay. Coming up next, a celebration of life will be held Sunday at Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort for David Oltman. He's the Wenatchee man who died last week in a plane crash in Alaska. Congressman Dan Newhouse says he remains steadfast in his opposition to plans to bring grizzly bears into the North Cascades. And a power pole fire caused by a squirrel knocked out electricity this morning for about 300 Douglas County PUD customers in the East Wenatchee area. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Some jobs take more than skill. They require something deeper, an innate devotion to the communities in which we live. At Giesa Credit Union, we help you support law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, and veterans. With every purchase you make with a Giesa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little. With the Giesa Local Heroes Affinity debit card.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Welcome back. In another news, a celebration of life will be held Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. at Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort for David Oltman, the Wenatchee man who died last week in a plane crash in Alaska. Oltman worked 5 years on the ski patrol at Mission Ridge. The family invites anyone who knew and loved David to attend. In addition, Mission Ridge will dedicate its first run of the ski season to Oltman. He's survived by his wife Erin and children Reese and Evan. Oltman was in Alaska as part of his business, BKR Construction. On October 17th, he was on a Peninsula Airways flight with 42 people aboard that went off the runway while landing in the remote fishing community of Unalaska. None of the other passengers were killed, but 10 were injured. Congressman Dan Newhouse says he remains steadfast in his opposition of plans to bring grizzly bears back into the North Cascades, or into the North Cascades, rather. Today is the deadline to submit public comment on the draft environmental impact study of those plans. Newhouse says he's hopeful that comments heard at last week's public meeting in Omak sends a strong message that the bears are not welcome. The 4th District House representative estimated over 700 people turned out for that meeting.
Sense is that the people of Okanagan County are speaking up loud and clear, and I will be pleased if the agency listens to the voice of the people who will be most affected by the decisions they make. That, to me, is the most important thing, and so we'll wait and see their decision.
The U.S. Forest Service and the National Park Service have proposed transporting up to 25 bears over the next 10 years into the North Cascades from Montana and British Columbia. Proponents claim the North Cascades wilderness has always served as prime grizzly habitat. But Newhouse questions if that's the case, what's stopping them from entering naturally?
Just on the surface, that makes a lot of sense to me, that if the environment was conducive to a population, that we would probably see more bears there than we do. And so that would bear further investigation and before the services take this step.
Biologists estimate that fewer than 10 grizzly bears currently inhabit the area. The last verified grizzly sighting in the Washington Cascades was back in 1996. Well, a power pole fire caused by a squirrel knocked out electricity this morning for about 300 Douglas PUD customers in the East Wenatchee area. PUD officials say it started around 7:45 a.m. and affected customers north of 23rd Street along Empire Avenue. PUD spokesperson Megan Vibbert says power was restored around 11:30. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Are the rumors true, Corey?
Yes, they are, and you're going to love what we're doing at Sangster Buick GMC. Hi, Corey Sangster with a special offer. $49 down delivers. At Sangster Buick GMC, just $49 down and you're driving the vehicle of your dreams. Save thousands with below-market financing during our year-end closeout. Yes, the rumors are true. Just $49 down delivers. Choose your vehicle and compare equipment, price, and warranty at Sangster Buick GMC or online at sangstermotors.com. Where caring about your family brings you back to ours.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no-cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support. Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Tonight, NCWLIFE's Megan McPherson introduces us to Chico the cat.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCWLIFE channel. We're here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us this week is Chico.
Chico is loving the ear scratches today. He is a sweet boy. We don't know a lot about him. He was abandoned by his family. They relocated, and he was found outdoors by a neighbor. But he is just a sweet boy. He seems to get along well with kids. Mm-hmm. We think he'd probably be a pretty good mouser. And he is looking for someone to give him scratches every day.
Yeah. And if someone's interested in adopting him, what should they do?
They can come down to the shelter, take him into one of the meet and greet moves, kind of get to know him, see if he's going to be a good fit for their family, and then they can take him home.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Time now for a check of our North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to those details, let's take a look up to the north of Wenatchee, up in Leavenworth from our Tumwater Skyfi Tower camera. And look at that beautiful shot of Leavenworth. A gorgeous day all over North Central Washington this afternoon. Did see a few high clouds out there, some middle level clouds too, but really nothing to affect us that much. It was just a beautiful day with temperatures actually above normal today. Unofficially at Pangbourne Airport, 61 degrees. That's 5 degrees above where we should be this time of year. 56 is normal. 39, our overnight low this morning. That's a tick above where we should be for a low temperature too. 38 is normal. 61, our record high set back in 1992. And our record low was a cold one in 1983 at 29 degrees. Still at 6.39 inches. That's total precipitation for the year, which, by the way, is about 0.8 above where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise this morning, 7:32, and the sun will set tonight once again before 6 o'clock tonight at 5:57. Let's take a check of your Friday forecast. A lot of you have some big plans this weekend. Of course, big football game tomorrow night right here in Wenatchee. Sunnyside comes to town to play the Panthers. We're going to be 64 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow. 66 Moses Lake, 65 in Ephrata, 62 in Chelan, and 61 up in Omak. The big thing tomorrow, wind, and lots of it. We'll get to that in a second. First of all, tonight on our surface loop, a very quiet evening expected across north central Washington. We'll see mostly clear skies. It will be calm tonight and mild, but look what's headed our direction. Lots of wind and a large area of high pressure that's going to force those winds right into Washington State. And this will be our situation then by Friday, where we will see a northwest wind steady, folks, 20 to 30 miles an hour, possible gusts to 43 miles an hour, and that will be throughout our afternoon and our evening tomorrow night. So if you are heading to that football game at the Apple Bowl, bundle up tomorrow night. On Saturday, cold air moves in as our wind direction switches to the north. We'll see a north wind 10 to 15 miles an hour. It will be sunny on Saturday, but it's not going to feel all that warm with that north wind out there. We're going to continue on Sunday as we end our weekend with that north flow, but temperatures not all that warm. In fact, look at most of the west. Here's a big trough right here. We are seeing the edge of a ridge of high pressure kind of coming through north central Washington, so we're lucky. We could be just to the east in Idaho and Montana, where temperatures will be just very cold as we get into the first part of next week. Sunny and still cool on Tuesday. In fact, we could see some stagnant air around next week, so if you're a little bit hesitant to be outside because of some air quality, that could be our case from all the bad air next week, so keep that in mind. Wednesday, sunny, and we will continue to be cool. Look how this trough dips all the way down into northern Arizona and New Mexico. Luckily, as I mentioned, we are on the shoulder of that high pressure ridge, so we won't be all that bad, even though we will be slightly below normal. Let's take a look now at your quick Lube and Tune 7-day forecast. Tonight, overnight low 42 degrees with a few clouds around, 64 on Friday, but remember, very windy conditions. And matter of fact, I think we'll probably have a wind advisory posted for our area by the time tomorrow rolls around. Much cooler for Saturday, sunny and breezy, 54. The cool down continues as we make our way into the end of the weekend. 51 on Sunday, 53 Monday. We'll stay with sunny skies on both Tuesday and Wednesday with high temperatures then still chilly into the lower 50s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Being able to support yourself and your family is an important part of who we are. We all need to know we're able to provide ourselves with a secure future. Some job seekers have a harder time finding work. That's why Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is here, a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to help people find work. When you shop at or donate to Goodwill, you're really being a job creator, and that's a good thing for everyone's future. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Kurt Suzuki's solo home run on the top of the seventh broke a 2-2 tie and led to a 6-run inning as Washington hammered Houston 12-3 in Game 2 of the World Series last night. Suzuki's homer came off Houston starter Justin Verlander, who took the loss and is winless in 6 World Series starts in his career. Washington brought 10 men to the plate in that 7th inning, scoring 6 runs on 4 hits. Nationals played add-on from there with Adam Eaton's 2-run home run in the 8th and Michael Taylor's solo shot in the 9th. Up 2-0. The series now shifts to Washington tomorrow at 5:08, where Zach Greinke will face Anibal Sanchez. Well, Bliss Littler was given a great birthday present last night as his team, the Wenatchee Wild, beat the Kelowna Warriors 6-0. Luke Ormsby scored 43 seconds into the game, and that set the tone for the rest of it. Trevor Gravel lit the lamp with just before the end of the first period. The Wenatchee led 2-0. Before the night was over, Nick Caffarelli, Brian Adams, and Quinn Emerson got into the scoring barrage. Our checker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network, video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Ormsby, and then ahead on the near side, Adams feeds it to Young on the left wing. Young in, top of the circle, finds it through, shot and a score! Luke Ormsby with the redirection, shot by Ormsby, blocked. Loose in front, shot again, loose puck, score! At the horn! Trevor Gravel tucks it home, shot, stick save, rebound, score! Caffarelli got the rebound, Bavaro took the shot, and Derek turned it aside, but a spongy rebound sitting right there for Caffarelli to sweep home. Comes back up high. Bavaro's wrister, score! I believe that was Brian Adams that got the stick on that. Emerson guides it across. Loose in front, shot, score! Quinn Emerson finished it off. And back behind the net, it's stolen and shoved home. Luke Ormsby with a short-handed goal. And Noah Altman will post his first shutout of the season. Now that's a birthday present for Bliss Littler.
Turned out to be Wenatchee's second consecutive shutout. They'll host Salmon Arm Friday and Saturday at the Town Toyota Center. Puck drops at 7:05 each night. Coming up on the prep schedule for today, pretty busy. Girls soccer, Casimir traveling to Chelan. Bridgeport hosts Tonasket. Brewster visits Manson, while Quincy is at Toppenish and Prosser hosts Ephrata. Wenatchee hosts West Valley at Lieboftel Field of the Apple Bowl. Our NCWLIFE crew will be there to record it and play it back Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Busy volleyball schedule as well tonight. 6:30 start time for Manson at Brewster. Soap Lake hosts Bridgeport. Oroville's at Waterville Mansfield, and Chelan welcomes Casimir. At 7, it's Sela at at Ephrata. Quincy hosts East Valley of Yakima. Davis at Eastmont, and Wenatchee's on the road and always tough West Valley. Eastmont and Wenatchee swimmers were with the rest of the Big Nine today earlier for the league meet. It's a dive meet as well, happening in Moses Lake. Also, one cross-country meet earlier today in the CWAC. Ephrata and Ellensburg running in Quincy
at Colockham Ridge Golf Course. Eastmont Wildcats suffered its first loss of the season last Friday, a 29-28 heartbreaker to Sunnyside. Understandably, Eastmont coach Michael Don says his kids took it hard.
We did enough to win the game. We just didn't make plays when we had to. The one thing that Sunnyside did really well is they made plays in big situations. It seemed like every third down, every fourth down, anytime they absolutely had to get a play, they made it. And the kids are disappointed, but at the same time, you always look at it and go, it's good to be disappointed when you're sitting at 6-1. It's disappointing for the kids. We had high, lofty expectations for this year, and so far we haven't met them. But we got 3 more weeks to go, and we just got to keep battling it out.
Don says the loss was a good lesson for his players that life in football will prepare you for real life later.
Football's only going to last so long, but we're able to point out, things that we're not doing to the best of our ability and say, look, guys, I don't care how talented you think we are or, how good we think we are. Every week you got to come out prepared and ready to go, and that's something you got to do in life. It doesn't matter whether you're the manager at your job or you're the lowest person on the totem pole. If you don't work, there's always an opportunity that somebody can move up past you, or you can get fired or move down. And kids are learning, and that's what we're looking for.
Eastmont travels to Yakima Friday to face Eisenhower at Ziffel Stadium at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, the team whom Eastmont lost to is coming to Leibovdale Field at the Apple Bowl Friday to face Wenatchee. Panthers had its playoff hopes damaged last year with a 14-10 loss at Sunnyside, and Coach Scott Devereaux says a win Friday would feel nice.
We just want to win. A victory is payback. We had them last year. They made a play towards the end of the game, and one thing that I remember the most is we were in the red zone, I think 6 times, and couldn't score. So, that was the name of the game right there. So, we're going to finish this week.
Senior linebacker Ty Waterman expects Sunnyside to be tough, as always.
Sunnyside's a great team. They got a great receiver in Mike and a really hard running back. They got a great-looking defense, but I feel like we're, if not better, on par with them, and we can win this game.
So what did you think as a team when you heard after your game against Davis that they knocked Eastmont off last week?
It's not a surprise. Watching that game on film, it was a trench warfare. Like, they worked hard, both those teams, and I think we're the 3 best teams in the league, and I expect nothing less than coming down the wire in that game.
Well, of all the action, Sunnyside at Wenatchee, 6:45 pregame. I'll be alongside Grant for your play-by-play Friday night under the lights here on the NCWLIFE channel. That's a look at sports news. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And finally tonight, a long line of emergency vehicles made its way through Okanagan today as part of the memorial services for fallen firefighter Christian Johnson. The procession wound its way to the fairgrounds, where this afternoon a huge crowd attended a celebration of life for the Assistant Chief of Okanagan Fire District 3. Johnson died of injuries he sustained September 1st fighting the Spring Coulee fire. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Very much, Grant. Join me tomorrow morning. We're going to start a brand new series of interviews that we've been conducting over the last couple of weeks. It's a chance for you to get to know your local candidates. You should have your ballot by now. If you haven't made up your mind, you'll get to know all of the candidates over the next 7 or 8 shows of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. On Friday, Entiat Mayor John Alt will be interviewed, plus all the Friday shenanigans you're used to. It's Friday for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Tomorrow, we'll promise you a 5-star show. Whether we deliver or not, you'll have to find out. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. live from this very studio. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and other stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.